So we're 7 days away from the Lisbon Half Marathon. I want this video to talk you through what are my expectations of this race, can they help me qualify for the Paris Olympics Marathon, some of the do's and don'ts during a race week to make sure that basically you don't get in your own way and self-sabotage what might have been a really great race. I've been training pretty hard, that's 8 to 10 weeks, around 90 to 95 mile a week. And I guess it's come to the point where I have to get on a bloody plane, go to Lisbon, crack out a race, and hopefully run really well. So we'll start with my expectations of Lisbon, and how's the training been going? Training has went, super well. That's 8 to 10 weeks of really great stuff, really consistent mileage, good sessions, trying to improve those threshold paces, but keeping that VO2 max work in place to make sure that we don't plateau by just doing, one type of training, for example, like threshold. I'm hoping that because I've dedicated 3 to 4 sessions towards this Lisbon Half Marathon, that I'll feel good in the race because it won't come as a surprise, that kind of effort. I've done sessions that I know will simulate how it might feel on race day. By simulating how it might feel on race day, in training, well then you're not as nervous, you're not anxious. In fact, if I'm brutally honest, I'm excited for Lisbon. I'm excited for it because I'm not going in there and needing to, fluke the result. I've probably already earned a great result by taking care of the training. So then all you've got to do is get through race week or those final 7 to 10 days without any sort of complications, things getting in your way that then might impact or self-sabotage this race on Sunday. And most of the time that sort of self-sabotage is occurring is because of nerves or anxiety. And they're either pushing you to sort of do something new or pushing you to do too much or almost talking you out of a great race result before it even happens. We're so guilty of, what if I can't do this? Oh my goodness, it might go bad. And then you end up creating that bad result because of these thoughts. Now, I'm not one to wake up every day and be full of confidence and strut around, blah, 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 blah. I have to also work on that sort of confidence. So I just remind myself when I'm out there training or if I'm getting nervous sitting around the house during race week, I remind myself of the hard work. Sometimes I show myself the hard work by looking back at the training and going like, gosh, I forgot I did that 8 mile tempo at, 5:05 per mile and felt really great. Gosh, I forgot I went and did that harder session that evening and didn't really want to, but got it done and felt really good. That's right, I did push those hills really hard. I kind of have worked really hard for this race. The brain is so quick at forgetting. You get a bit anxious, you get a bit stressed, you get a bit nervous, you try to add things in. One final session. We would all love one final session. Trust me when I say that. So really avoid during race week adding anything new in terms of even the nutrition, even the, your strength work in the gym, your recovery stuff. Of course you want to focus on recovery, but don't suddenly overemphasize recovery. So my week's going to be really simple. I've tapered the training down because I think that's important to then learn from the race. I did have a really, bad race for me in the build up to Dublin Marathon. I go on to the marathon and, I'm on the podium and I might think, well, that race didn't matter. The half marathon in the build up where I ran, was it 70 minutes, maybe 71 minutes, to then go through halfway in Dublin in 65 and keep going. But all races can serve a purpose. That particular build up for Great North Run, I wasn't in the right headspace or wasn't training in the right way to get that great result. But I still needed to know. I went to Great North Run that time to show myself that we needed to do something different. It wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, I didn't want to go, but I knew it served a purpose. It took me to learn that what I was doing in fact wasn't working in that scenario, and I had to take myself away, work really hard, and work towards the race result that I knew I was capable of, but you've still got to get it done. I'm guilty, and I'm sure others are, of going through people's Stravas and looking up other people's Stravas, and you see that they've done this session, or even your own, and you see sessions that you've done in the past, or like I said, others. And you'd sort of do this, I could do that. Oh yeah, when I ran that result, I could have done that. But the key is that perhaps you didn't, right? And you have to get good at just getting things done. So I've said a couple of sessions over the last lot of weeks that maybe I was nervous about, or maybe seemed too basic or too simple. And then normally in the past, I'd have changed them for something a bit sexier, blah, 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 blah. This build up in particular, the 6 to 10 weeks, I've just done a great job of getting it done. If it was on the plan, go get it done. And that's the same for the easier days. These last sort of 3-4 days, I'm literally in a marathon build up. I'm trying to run 2:08:10 for the marathon, but I'm tapering. So instead of doing a 2-hour run on Sunday, you're looking at 5 mile, 6 mile. And you just have to be okay with the plan sometimes not being what you wanted that day. And then don't let the brain convince you that you should change things. I'm hoping I can go out and run, sub 63 minutes. That would be the second quickest half marathon, I've ever done. I have run 61:08, but that was a really special fitness at that moment in time. But I don't really run at a pace in a half marathon. The gun will go and I'll just settle into what feels like the right effort. So if it happens to be 61 something, well, that's what we'll go for on the day. So the rest of the week, I just keep it pretty tidy. Tips I would give is to kind of avoid, massage later in the week, avoid too much physio later in the week, don't be doing loads of foam rolling later in the week. You want to keep race week very, almost like, switching the muscles on. That activation stuff, your sort of like plyo, pogo hops, little bits of gym activation stuff like holds, also strides, hill strides. There's heaps of this on the website, joggingroom.com. If you don't know how to get through race week, that's a brilliant resource for you to have. But you're trying to keep the muscles switched on, not turn them off. You've got like hard muscles, soft muscles. You want your muscles under tension, and when you're tapering down the training, that tension can start to go a bit. So what you want to do is sort of manipulate that tension by little bits of gym, little strides, little hill strides, maybe some pogos, etc. So the week stays very simple. Get through race week as smoothly as possible. Fly to Lisbon, Friday coming, get settled into the hotel, easy run Saturday, race Sunday. But I'll do some updates along the week, keep you up to date. A good run here will really set me up well for the marathon to come. But it'll also just show me how are things going, is it working, is there something we need to do about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to check out joggingroom.com, you can. And thanks so much for watching. Take care.